This is where your music has all the power.
Let's go, yeah.
Your home for the Power Morning Show and the Ladies' Room.
Hey, yo. Know what I'm talking about? She asked me who I be.
Power 95.
Where you from?
St. George's, Grenada. Ladies' Room comes to you compliments of Renwick and Thompson Limited, agents for Western Union, and Beacon Insurance.
It's time to do better. Beacon's Be Better Group Health Plan now offers new and improved options that make health insurance affordable for small to medium businesses. Good medical cover gives you a competitive edge and takes care of the people that take care of your business. Get a better plan to build a better business. Call Beacon or log on to beacon.co.tt for more info today.
2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6.
Education multiplies their chances and places the world of opportunity in their hands. No matter where they are in the world, make sure they are prepared for their journey back to school with Western Union. School fees, books, room and board, whatever the reason. Knowledge, independence, opportunity. Western Union, moving money for better.
Hello and good morning again, everybody. Welcome back to the room. Welcome to another ladies' room for today, Tuesday, August 30th, and it is the final Tuesday in the month of August. Yeah, so let's make this one count. All right. Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, Christelle, Marianne, Julian. Good morning, Shauna Decoto. Good morning, Derek Cuffey. Morning, Lisa Jones, Rosen Simon, Kizzy McEwen. Good morning, sis. Good morning, Rita, Candida. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning. Hope everyone is doing a-okay. All is well on your end. Good morning, CJ. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on in, guys. We have a serious situation. It's evening in Kenya. So, good evening, Frederick. Always a pleasure having you on the live. Yes, as it's evening out there in Kenya. Kizzy Thomas, good morning. Rita, I am doing well. Good morning, Crystal Ross. Good morning, Cheryl Noel. Welcome in the room, ladies. And listen, y'all need to invite your husbands and boyfriends and what have you to come in the room, because they stay silent. They don't join us in the room. I want to meet me on the street, according to old people, long stalk me, to have a whole discussion on what we discuss while they could be part of the discussion. But it's like they want a whole class for themselves. So bring them in the room. Invite them in the room. All right? So they can have the conversation while we're having it. And not seeing me going about my business and stopping me in supermarket and I should have said this and they could have said, listen, I told one yesterday in the supermarket, Mr. Stand up and give me a whole ball by ball scenario on the case yesterday. I'm like, so why didn't you call? Why didn't you come in the room? Nah, you're not on them thing. You don't people see. I'm like, ladies' room. I'm like, that's just the name of it, but we discuss things for both men and women. So fall in and be part of the action. Pearl Batson, good morning. Good morning, Ralda. Good morning, Shantae. Good morning, Annie Clovis. I am well. I smile teeth whitening. I'm checking you guys out soon, coming your way soon. So you gotta make the link. Maybe you can hit me up on the WhatsApp with your contact details as well. Definitely have to hit you up. Good morning, Nikisha. Good morning, Wendy Samuel. My folks out there in Toronto. Good morning, Claudian. Good morning. Good to have you guys here. Alrighty. Rondell Connet. Good morning. Yeah, we have some faithful men. Rondell, Sam Jim. Who else? Gosh, Chemo. Haven't seen Chemo in a little bit. Who else? Good morning, Thomas Harry. Good morning, Wayne. Joseph Watts. Yeah, you back? Oh, you forget the Notting Hill Carnival is for 2 days. You fly your kite, you prance, you're outside. No. Stay outside. Stay where you were. Don't come back now. Yesterday we in here from you. Because you're busy drinking rum and having a time in Notting Hill Carnival, you Mr. Wayne Joseph Watts. Now you come back making big announcement that you're back. Go back where you come out, okay? All right. Terry Frame here. Terry's always here. Good morning, Terry. Hope all is well. And Angel Antoine, good morning. Marlene, good morning. Selective Vibes is always here as well. Welcome into the room, guys. Talking about guys, Spice real do all your injustice, you know. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not a man, but looking at that video and that song, it made me feel a type of way. Imagine you're a man and you have let's just say Spice tried to interfere with your emotions. Because I saw some of the comments and a lot of you didn't take it too kindly. But I keep telling me, why you all get upset over things like that? Because most of the times, what I find funnier is we as women, we have no problems with the problem. Small, large, whatever. Throughout the relationship, everything is fine and dandy. No complaints whatsoever. But as soon as the relationship is over, y'all start attacking these men and small problems. Like, why? Weren't complaining before, so why are you complaining after the fact? But I guess as much as just to mess with y'all little feelings, because you know how y'all ego stay when it comes to that part of your body. So I guess that's just to mess with you, and Spice did not help either. Yo, is your stomach, boy? Anyways, good morning, Jeffrey. Good morning, Tarina. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, Paula. Good to have you guys here. Jenalyn, morning. Morning, Sonia. Shirley, Japal, good morning. Spice, Freshly Man is in the building. Atlanta in the building. Good morning, Atlanta. Good morning, Ambika. Henry Prince. Yeah, the men are coming in the room this morning. Just to say, I see I ain't block you. Jeffrey, once you don't do anything, you're safe. Once you're not interfering with my piece and you ain't coming and tie up my page, you're not gonna get blocked. But once you start. Good morning, Jason Skeet. Good morning, Linda. Renal, good morning. Yes, I'm great. Thank you. Selector Vibe says fed up with Spice. Yo, I'll need to go on Twitter and check that video out. Spice didn't play with y'all this wrong, I swear. I mean, she accustomed being a little raunchy and stuff like that, but NASA, not even me and my feelings were hurt, I swear. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, sis. Good to have you on the live. Yes, Spice really played y'all with emotions. I'm not gonna lie. DJ Papadeso or Papadisa, which one is it? Marilyn in the building. Good morning, Marilyn. Charmaine and Steffi and everybody checking in. My Brooklyn peeps. Good morning. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Yeah. So how y'all feel about the song though? As men, how do you feel about the song? Did it interfere with your psyche? Did you feel a type of way? Because I saw the comments. So y'all can't say you weren't feeling a type of way. I saw some of the responses. Y'all feeling a way. Not just a little way, a big way. Got a lot of y'all in your little emotions. But it is what it is, you know? Like I said, if only we had the ability to walk up before the man upstairs and say, okay, give me some of that, give me some more hip, give me some more behind, give me a really pretty face, give me long, beautiful hair. Okay, I'll take one of that. But it doesn't work that way. You know? Whatever you're blessed with, you gotta appreciate it. Unless you've got dinero, then you can do something about it. Because I was looking at an article, reading an article yesterday, which says a lot of men are going under the knife to sort out their problems. Yeah, they say the DR is filled with men. Men are now on the plane heading to DR to get to do surgery and stuff like that. Is that serious? Whatever works for y'all. Anywho's, we have a situation on our hand this morning. It's a serious one, and like I said, it's real life situation. So remember when we were advising to keep that in mind, that there are people or someone actually listening to get something that they can take with them and make sense out of, to sort out their situation. I know a lot of the times we laugh and joke and what have you, but we always bear in mind that this is a situation, a real life situation, and whatever we say could impact the person in one way or the other. Alrighty, so in the room today, someone says, hi Aruna, I hope all is well with you. I'm trying to get a bit of advice. I would keep it brief. I was in a relationship with a guy for almost 7 years. It wasn't perfect, but he was good to me. apart from lack of commitment and lies. But in many ways, he was a good person. He is, I must say, the only man I think I'll ever love. The relationship ended because of his lies, deceit, and an altercation. I felt like I had enough. So I walked out. Literally, I packed and went back to the UK. It took a toll on me, and because this was someone I was with for almost 7 years, I found out I was pregnant a few weeks later. I didn't tell him. Now, due to the stress and pre existing medical conditions, I had a horrible pregnancy. I lost a ton of weight, and the baby came early. She's healthy and well, I must say. I try my very best. I thank God every day for her. She's everything to me. The thing is, she looks so much like her dad, sometimes it annoys me. But I haven't told him anything up to this day. I want the best for her, and I've been trying to do so, providing for her and giving her everything she needs. I don't want an absent father. I want her to have a father, a dad who is present, loving, nurturing, and caring, one who would be there for her always. I don't want her to have a part time dad. Um, yeah, I don't want her to have a part time dad. I don't want an uncommitted father. So, my question is, am I wrong for not allowing the bare minimum for my child? Or am I right for keeping my daughter away from being half loved? We are currently in Grenada, and I was wondering if I should let him meet her before we leave again. Please be gentle with the comments. Well, I could promise to be gentle with mine, but I can't make the promise for the rest of my viewers and listeners. However, I posted this about an hour ago, so folks have been commenting on it on my Facebook page, and the person is reading the comments. So she sent me some additional information based on what she's seeing in the comments, added a little backdrop to it, because a lot of people were saying that, she's making it about her, she's selfish, but she says, I wasn't going to go in depth with the relationship I had with the father of my child, as I have no intent of bashing anyone. But some of the commenters seem to think that I'm using my child as a means of vengeance, which is very far from the truth. I was with this man for 6.5 years, and of those years, he was verbally and emotionally abusive all the way through. Yes, I stayed. It was my choice. I am not blaming anyone. The reason I left was because he put his hands on me and we had a physical altercation, because I'm not letting any man lay their hands on me. Good for you. I've been through so much, and that is the last thing I will tolerate. I am indeed skeptical of allowing him into my child's life because I know him. It is why I never told him about her. He's not a bad person. He has bad ways like many of us do. And that is why I am in this dilemma. But please know I am not making this about me. Hence, I am seeking advice. Alrighty, so there we have it, the gist of the story with some additional information added to it. Like I said, you guys have been going in on my Facebook page, and you wanted some, hold on, you wanted some advice as to how you should tackle the situation. Straight up, regardless of the relationship you had with him, straight off the bat, I will say you need to let him know. Regardless of the tumultuous relationship you guys had, the abuse and all of that, I think it's only fair to let him know. Because he may be a rotten friend, man, or a not so nice partner, but he could be an amazing dad. You never know. And think about it, having your daughter miss out on something like that just because, of the relationship you had with him, I don't think that is fair. Now, if you tell him and he shows no interest or doesn't want to have anything to do with you or your child, then that's on him. If he decides that he doesn't want to be part of the child's life, that's on him. But at the end of the day, you can walk away saying, you know what? I really did make the best decision for myself and my child. He doesn't want anything to do with us. Fine, I'll continue doing my very best to ensure that my child is taken care of and all her needs are met. But based on the relationship you had with him, it's two separate things. You had a relationship with him, abusive, all of that didn't work. But you ended up pregnant. He is the father. And it is his right to know that he's the father to your child, regardless of the situation between the two of you. Because like I said, he may not have been the best partner, but he could be the best father. There is a difference. You never know. He could be very good to your child, to his child. He could play a very important role in his child's life, and you keeping that away from him, I don't think that is fair. It didn't work between the two of you doesn't mean it can't work between him and his child, or three of you having some sort of civil relationship for the sake of your daughter. You never know. It could be a very, very, very nice. You don't want to be in a position where you beat yourself up years after and you coulda, woulda, shoulda, and wondering, if you did the right thing or if you made the right choice. At this early stage is the perfect time to let him know. So he has enough time to indicate interest or none whatsoever. So then you know how to push on, you know how to move on from here. But I don't think not saying anything to him is fair. I really don't think so. If he doesn't show any interest, that's totally on him. Nothing to do with you. You did your part. You know, you brought the baby into the world. You're doing your best, like you stated. So I think it's fair that you let him know what he chooses to do. It's on him, basically. But he's armed with information, and you can walk away with a clear conscience that, hey, I told this man, and he chose not to. He chose not to yeah, he chose not to be part of her life. Then that's totally on him. What do you guys think? Fathers in the audience, women, mothers in the audience. What are you guys thinking? Is she being selfish? Is she being unfair? Do you think that she should tell him? What are you guys saying? Hit me up on the WhatsApp as well, 4409595. You can send your voice notes. Do you think she should let him know or continue walking and taking care of her child herself? Let's check the line and see. Good morning.
Hi, morning, Arana.
Morning.
All right. When I'm a father, so I put it out from the start. She went wrong
Mhm.
and withholding that information from him because he doesn't. And I believe 95% of women nowadays doing that. They have a bad relationship with the father, and for them, some justification is just not to let the father see the child or let it know anything. And then in the long run, now, men majority of the time get blamed. They don't taking care
You
of
don't
the
mind
child.
your child. Mhm.
And you don't mind your child. You never give me nothing for the child, and you never this and never that. But at the end of the day, did they give the opportunity
Mhm.
to do what we have to do? If you give us the opportunity and then we fall short, then you can run him out. You understand? But not giving the opportunity, right? And
Mhm.
then now you sit now and wonder, should I let my child see she father and all these things? And then how you go look for you as a mother when the child get big? Mommy, who's my father?
Mhm.
The child asking you this
Mhm.
question. What you go say?
Mhm.
What lie you come up with? Or what you go
Because
say?
you're gonna have to
Father dead or
lie.
one kind of thing?
Are you gonna
No,
tell
I'm
your
just saying.
child that I didn't
No, I'm
let
just
you
saying.
know?
If the child get big and asks, what you gonna tell the child?
Mhm.
Understand how that child will look at you as a mother. You understand who cared for me? If you care for me, then let me know who my father is.
Mhm.
Understand? So that choice shouldn't be up to mothers, but mothers take that choice.
Mhm.
So that
Totally
is my
agree.
whole take on it.
Thanks so much. Thanks
All
so
right.
much. Good contribution. I totally agree because years later when the child, what are you gonna say? You're obviously gonna lie. You're not gonna say, well, I didn't tell him anything about you. How would you feel telling your child, I did not tell your father anything about you? I mean, you see, sometimes we have to take ourselves out of situations. Take yourself out. Yes, you had a bad relationship with him, it didn't work. But like you said, it's not about you. And if you recognize that it's not about you, then you definitely need to let him know because you added to it that it's not about you. I was with this man for 6.5 years. He was verbally and emotionally abusive, yet you stayed. And that was your choice, right? Like you said, you're not blaming anyone. You had the. Let me take a call before I come back. Morning.
Hey, morning. What's up?
Good.
I normally I call in a very jovial mood, but this here for me is a very emotional situation because as a father,
Mhm.
I know I am prepared to take the bullet for my children. Children grow up. Let me tell you something, Aruna. And when we having conversations about man and woman and old talk and things that others talk my stupidness. But let me tell you something. Children grow up. And one of the things that children will always do is that they will always go looking for the other parent. Even if it means that they're looking for the other parent to cuss them out, to be angry with them, to tell them they love them, to find out what happened, rest assured that children will always go looking for the other parent when there's a separation. You want to not have that to deal with as a parent. You want to not have that burden on you, because then fixing it is going to be so difficult, because the impressionable mind would have already gathered all the impressions that you would have given it or that you would have allowed it to gather. So you want to be able to take yourself out of that situation. One, this guy needs to know that he has a child for all the reasons which are countless to mention. Whether or not you want to say, okay, visitation, this, that, ABC thing, whatever the semantics are after, that will be dealt with after. But these things ought to be dealt with in chronological order.
And the fact that she doesn't even live here, she lives in the United Kingdom.
Precisely. So these things, I say, depending on the situation, these things will be dealt with in chronological order. And every situation has its own chronological scale. Right? So first things first, the identity needs to be sorted out. Listen, you don't know, but I'm telling you now, I kept it from you. I'm sorry. We had a child together. His name is John, Paul, Peter, Jane, Mary, whatever. And this is where we're at. Now, I don't want anything from you. If you feel to contribute to the child, then please feel free. I will accept it. And anything outside of that is the child that is going to suffer. As parents, we sometimes allow our selfish selves or selfish egos to get in the way at the expense of children. And we breed our own monsters at the times, not even knowing it. This is an opportunity here to not breed a monster. So I think, first of all, that needs to happen. And then how you go around, how you get around it, the semantics of getting around it, then that will be dealt with as you move from one stage to the next. Right? Yeah. So that to me is, there's no long and short and thing about it. The only way is to start first of all, letting the other parent know you are a parent.
Understand.
Right? Yeah. And then people parental instincts.
Then we'll take it from there.
Yes, we'll allow it to take it from there. And then, as I say, different situations have different chronological skills. And so you deal with it from thenceforth.
Gotcha. Thanks so much. Truly appreciate it. Okay. So hear what? Let's deal with the situation as is and not start with the, oh, fathers do it too, please. We are fully aware that like 95% of the time, mothers are the ones who take care of the child, but there are fathers who take on the role and mothers who don't do anything. So there's a lot of deadbeats on both sides. There are deadbeat mothers and there are deadbeat fathers. There are fathers who fit the role beautifully. Everything that a child could want in terms of a father. They stepped up and they continue to step up every single day. Right? So now that the roles are reversed and this lady's withholding information, let's not turn it into, well, a man, we know that. I mean, that's a given. We already know that there are men who, walk away from the responsibilities, whether they know or they don't know. They just bounce. Knowingly, they bounce. So let's focus more on those who are on this situation here where this man doesn't know. Now, if she told him and he chose not to be part of the child's life, now that's a different conversation. But that isn't what's going on here. What's going on here is him not knowing nothing whatsoever about having a daughter with this lady. So to be fair, let's sort of work around that to how we can advise her to deal with this present situation. And the caller a while ago said it best. It starts with him knowing, and then we'll take it from there. If he doesn't indicate any interest after knowing, then you do what you got to do. You do what you got to do. If he decides he wants to be part of her life, then that's where maturity kicks in and you put your feelings on ice, regardless of whatever feelings you're harboring towards him because of the way he treated you. But at the end of the day, you also have to accept some responsibility Because you stayed almost 7 years with a man that was verbally and to some degree physically abusive. So you can't blame him only. That's why I love saying big or small responsibility. When things happen, you have to accept your part in it. Because to stay in a relationship almost 7 years with somebody that's abusive, verbally and emotionally abusive, you also have to accept responsibility, plus having unprotected sex. But that is not here nor there. What we're dealing with now is the fact that there is a little baby in the picture who doesn't know her father, whose father isn't aware that he even has a child. What are you going to do about it? And so far, most of the responses seem to be you need to tell him. What he decides to do moving on out is totally up to him. You can't force him to be in the child's life if he doesn't want to be there. Unless, of course, you climb up the magistrate step to get some sort of contribution from him.
Morning. I'm back in the room. Anyway, I ain't here to bash the young lady, but at the end of the day, I think you're being a bit selfish. One, two, I think you need to give him the opportunity to be a man or to be a fool, right? And that's by opening up the door where his child is concerned. I mean, there's no if about it. That part you definitely have to make that link, and give him that opportunity if you want to be a dad or not. And then if he doesn't, then that's on him, and you move on with your life. At the end of the day, you do what you have to do anyway. But give him that opportunity. Let him know, and give him the opportunity to want to be a part of his child life or not. So if he doesn't, that's up on him. But you holding back that later on in life that could come back and burn you, not only your conscience but on your child as well. So you later on in life your child could dislike you or stuff like that. So give him that opportunity. It's no buts about it. Anyway, have a good day.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I totally agree. And the fact that you're here now in Grenada is a perfect time before you leave again. Don't wait until you leave. So now he has an opportunity to reach out and see the child and spend time with the child before you leave. Yeah. So I honestly think you should. I honestly think you should.
Hey Aruna,
Mhm.
first of all, I'm calling your program. Anyway, I had to. This situation, basically, I was in one similar to that with my son's dad. And what she is doing, I think it's so selfish towards that kid of hers because at the end of the day, that child will want to know who is their father. And all like me, with my son's dad, he had my son for a little bit for, specific reasons. And he tried to use that child against me. And trust me, it is very depressing to know that you have a child out there and one of the parents is like keeping away that child from you. And if that guy get to know that, he gonna hate that mother even more. We don't know what is the issue. That's between both of them. I don't think this child should be in the midst of that. She should let that child know her dad. Thank you.
Totally agree. I'm seeing a really nice comment here I want to share. Where did it go? Oops. Where did it go? Yeah. Someone says the children are always the broken pieces when a home falls apart, but they are stronger than we think. They handle things well. Morning.
Good morning, Aruna. How are
I
you?
am good, thanks.
All
Mhm.
right. I just want to encourage that young lady to let the child know he's, I don't know if it's, is it a boy or
A
girl?
girl, a girl. Mhm.
Her father. Now, this is very emotional for me because I'm a typical example of it.
Mm. Tell us how, in what way?
I get so emotional sometimes.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, didn't mean to. Is it something you'd like to share or you'd like to talk off the air?
I want to share it.
Okay. Take a couple seconds and you can do that. Deep breaths, you'll be fine. When you're ready, just let me know.
No, when I was 28, my mom told me that my father is not who I think he is, right? When I was 28. And it still affects me today. And when I did get to learn, I try to find out more about him. And that's when I got to find out that he died. So he died without even knowing that I was his daughter.
Wow.
So he never knew. So I would encourage any mothers, please, don't do it to your children. Don't. It affects you no matter. I'm 44 and it still affects me.
Wow, I'm so sorry.
So please, don't do that to your child. Let them know. So later on in life, it wouldn't come back and haunt you. I forgive my mom, right? But you don't know how everybody would deal with a situation, how they would take it, how hard they would deal with it. So please let them know.
So when you were 28, you said she told you
Yeah.
the person that was your father isn't your father?
Yes.
Wow.
When I was 28.
So the person you grew up thinking was your father was not your father all these years.
Correct. And to be honest, you don't feel. I never felt the bond. I never felt it. So it's something as I always tell, and I'm close friends. You know, you don't ever do that to any of your children. It's the child would be the one who suffers the most.
So when you become a parent, it's not about you. You have to take yourself out of the picture and do what you think is best for your child.
Right.
If you know your child will be harmed, that's a different story.
Correct. So, you know, it's always good to let your children know, and don't use your children as weapons either. Let them know their parents. Let them know, be it woman or mother or father, let them know. You know, so I just wanted to encourage her to let that
so
man
much.
know that he has. If he decides he don't want to, okay, but at least let him know. So he can make that decision if he wants to be a part of your life or not, that child's life or not. And you can know, well, I did my part as a mother.
So you're basically what you're saying. Your mom knew that the person that you called dad for how many years was not your father, but never told you.
She never really shared that with me. She never really shared that with me. But I don't think she really even sure, really. But as I said, there was never really a bond, and
She wasn't sure if the person she told you was your dad or the man who died. She wasn't sure which one was your father. You think?
She said she don't think that the one that's alive. She don't think that he's my dad.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just sad. I mean, I never really get to meet him. Just nothing. And I mean, and the time when I started to find out and wanted to find out more, that's when I found out that he died. So I never really pursued it after that. I just let it die. But there's always something in you still wanting to know. You know, still wanting to know more family just to find out. It's like you feel like you have an identity lost.
You don't know who you are really.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm so grateful you shared, and I hope that she's listening. Well, I know she's listening, so I hope your story will help her to make to make the right decision. I am so grateful for you for calling in. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
All right. Have a good one. Whew. Yeah, that was heavy. Wow. Imagine that. So basically, mom didn't know. You know, like back in the day, they'll say, you know what? If you're not sure, you'll give the one who's in a better position financially to take care of your child. You know, even though they may not be the father. It happens. It happens a lot of the time. You know, women will make that choice based on the financial standing of one. If one is better financially than the other, then that's who you'll give the whose name will be on that paper. Whew.
Good morning. First of all, I don't have much to say because I believe that throughout all the answers that she heard on the on the radio, on the phone, in the messages that she would have come to some sort of conclusion by now. Um, and I don't think that selfish is an appropriate word to use towards her, right? I think she has not healed over what happened. And that child, whether she likes it or not, is a constant reminder of that pain that she would have experienced in that relationship, especially as a child looks just like him. So she keeps revisiting or going back to that state of hurt. I think she needs to heal. And after she's healed, she needs to let that man know that he has a child, and give him that responsibility to choose whether or not he wants to be involved in that child's life. It will be quite difficult, because she's in the UK. It's going to be quite difficult. But as long as he can do what needs to be done, then he can. I mean, converting EC to pounds, he ain't really getting much, but at least he could try if he's willing to. And if not, as somebody rightfully said, that is on his conscience. That is for him to deal with. You grow up that child and you let that child know that you tried. And if that child chooses to get their, the other parent side of the story when the child is old enough to understand and to have a mature conversation, then that's fine. I don't think selfish is the right word to use. I do think that that child is a constant and daily reminder of the hurt that she experienced. And so she's just scared, So, darling, heal. I would say heal, because that constant reminder is going to be there for life. It's not just all about him, but it's you. It's a product of the both of you. And it's a love that is irreplaceable. You can't rob a child from getting love on both sides. The relationship may not have worked for you both, right? He may not have been good to you, but he could be an amazing father.
My sentiment exactly. No, yeah, a lot of people say, let the conscience, but sometimes you have to wonder if they have conscience. Because I'm sure we all know of situations where mothers or fathers abandon their child and they never look back, and their child they gets to adulthood and they never reach out or do anything to contribute to the development of that child. So sometimes I wonder if they even have a conscience. Because how you turn your back on your child and even years after you make no move to to help in any given way, you just okay with it. You just know you have a child out there, and when that child starts succeeding, suddenly everybody crawling out of the woodwork, that is my child, and when you had no part to play in that child's success. But that is my big son and that is my big daughter. No, I don't know you. Good morning. Hey, morning.
What's up?
Are they?
You good?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw you on Facebook, girl, and you crying out your belly. Don't beat up, I tell you. I tell you, never beat up. Right? Come out of come wrong like a bee. Don't beat up, right?
Every time.
You see that woman around her? People that give women and them? You have to put them on a cross like Jesus and crucify them.
Oh, God, no.
And create a mark for the rest of your life in the world. So people could read, make a book and read about them. Because these women and them, that's all what they do around her. When you and them go good, they don't want you to see the child, they don't want you to do nothing, and they hiding the child from me and say, they're not your father, they're not. This is a wrong thing they're doing. You see, you just come back and buy them.
You gotta be careful.
They need to go on a cross like Jesus and crucify. Have a nice day, Aurora.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Alrighty. Somebody is making a very important point, and I'm not sure how it missed me, how that slipped me. I made a mental note, but I forgot to pick up on it. Someone says, "Morning, Haruna. There's also an important point that we are missing, and I agree with the previous men who have responded." She mentioned that she gets annoyed because the child reminds her of him. Say the father takes responsibility and dotes on the daughter, and this triggers her. She also needs to deal with these emotions and seek forgiveness for her peace of mind and mental health. Good point. Very good point. Because she did make a mention of that every time she looks at the child, she reminds him of her. She reminds her of him, and she gets annoyed. So, like the previous caller before this one said, there's a lot of healing and therapy that needs to take place here. Because if you're looking at a child that looks like their father and you're getting annoyed, hello.
Aruna, good morning.
Good morning.
A question I want to ask is that why children always in the middle of mother and father separation? Why children always in the middle? Why mothers always avoiding the children from seeing the father? This is something I really want to know.
Because we don't know how to take out the emotions out of it. The relationship ends, the man moves on with somebody else, and you decide, you know what, my way to punish him is to let him see his child. While on the other hand, there are men who walk out, turn their back, and never look back. But a lot of the times, like I said, the maturity part of it doesn't kick in until maybe it's too late. We're not together, so you can't see me. Can't see my child. I don't want your little woman and them around my child, and not thinking of how you're damaging that child and what effect that will have on the child. At the end of the day, if the man decides he doesn't want to play his role and he doesn't want to play his part, then I mean, apart from going to going to the law to get it sorted out and get your little change to the courthouse, that's the only thing you can do. You can't force him unless you go that route. But we really need to separate. Too many children are being caught in these situations. They didn't ask to be here. So if you can't do right by your child, regardless of how you feel about the father or the mother, then I mean, you're not ready to have a child or children. I keep saying that too many people are bringing children into these situations that they're not ready for. You're just having sex and just having children, no preparation, no planning, no nothing. We all know that that is one of the things that can happen. Unprotected sex can lead to lead you getting pregnant. Sometimes you know the partner you're with, they're abusive, they're this, that, or the other, but yet still you're not taking any preventative measures to not bring a child into the chaos and the toxic and the madness that exists around you. I honestly believe people just have to be more responsible with their actions. Not because you can, you should. Because too many children are like, and this says the cycle continue, broken children, cycle continues over and over and over again. So
I wanna have a daughter, and my daughter mother goes to Grenada, and they even bring my daughter to see her grandmother. Some women just do it really very disrespectful. Imagine you go to Grenada, my daughter is in Grenada, my mother is in Grenada, I didn't bring my daughter to see her grandmother.
wow. All because you don't have a relationship with the person, right? How do we separate the issues? When does maturity kicks in and you say, you know what, this isn't about me? Regardless of how I feel about this woman, regardless of how I feel about this man, let me do good by my child. But it's just a selfishness that's, I mean, and then you're making fun of people in have. I ain't had them stressed though. I mean, is the grandmother abusive? Do they have they exchanged words? Listen, to me, as long as I mean, at the end of the day, as a parent, you're always in protective mode, right? And you want the best for your child or children, and your role is to protect them. But so long as you're not you're not aware of any danger whatsoever. If you're aware that your child would be in danger by, you know, linking or mingling with this person or the other, then you can say, hey, I'm gonna do what's best for my child and keep them away from these people because when he or she goes around them, she's beaten, they're verbally abused or physically abused. If you have no evidence to support your claim and it's just because of how you feel about them, me like them, people and them, they like me. But they could like your child. Because they don't like you doesn't mean wouldn't like your child or wouldn't love your child as their very own unless you have reasons to believe they'll do otherwise. As long as you don't have reasons to believe that they will harm your child, then why keep them away from their parents or grandparents or whatever the case might be? Whew, look at the time. Wow, I gotta go. But before I do, let me see what we got here. I agree with that caller. Kudos to her for leaving when she did, but she has a responsibility to let the guy know he has a child, give him the opportunity to step up or not. Let me play this final one and then we can bounce. Yeah, it's a lot of comments on this one today, but we are out of time.
Yeah, Aaron, I understand what you're saying in protection mode. Yes. What if the parent that is keeping the child away from the father is the one who is abusing the child?
Mm.
You know? What if that is the case? What can you do as a father, knowing that your child is being abused by her own mother or his own mom, and the mom still doesn't want the child to be with you?
Wow. Listen, there's a lot of things sometimes we make it seem as though it's men, and deadbeat dads, and that we have to revisit this conversation. Let's follow up with that tomorrow, God's will, because we're out of time and there's a lot more to be said. There's a lot of information that I'm seeing coming in, and someone says, someone so rightly says, women make more noise. That's why it seems as though men aren't doing what they're supposed to do because the women voices are just louder when they're not doing it, but when they're doing it, it's a different story. And there are a lot of men going through West with their child mother simply because they're no longer together. It's a mental and physical battle every day. They are expected to provide, but they don't get to do anything else but provide. Imagine a child in the middle of this. A child who didn't ask to be born, but y'all doing the dog and just happen to have a child. And this child is caught in the middle of two grown adults, not knowing how to act, not knowing how to be mature for the sake of a child, not knowing how to coexist. Unless there's no abuse in the picture and you have no fear for your child's safety, by all means. If you open that, if you give them that opportunity and they don't take it, then that's on them. You do your best the way you know how. That's how a lot of mothers hurt their children, because they don't heal from the broken relationship they had with the parent. Then they lose control, and in some cases have even killed their kids due to frustration, hurt, brokenness, etc. Ah, boy, yeah, that one's tough today. Anyway, guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow, God's will. We got more. Yeah, this one's a really heavy one today. Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you so much to our friends at Beacon Insurance and Western Union for taking us through another ladies' room. I will see you guys tomorrow, God's will. Thanks so much to everyone in the room for your contribution. Thanks to the callers, those who send in the voice notes. Thank you so very much for adding to the conversation. So, young lady, I hope you've gotten something you can take away with you, and you'll make the best choice and make the best decision for you and your child. And I do hope that decision is letting him know before you leave that he has a daughter, and of course you decide what you're going to do moving on based on how he responds to that news. Alrighty, so see you guys tomorrow.